around, still showing aggression. He's using second gear at turn 7, and generally when you're trying to look after the rear tyres a bit, you tend to want to use third gear just to give them a breather. So he must be happy enough with the balance to be able to give the rear tyres a little bit more.
Marcus Ambrose hopefully learned from that mistake at Adelaide, where he got tangled up with Todd Kelly. He's looking comfortable in third at the moment.
The Kmart Racing team have been on the radio to Greg Murphy. The thing that they're saying is, bit of caution, Murph, conserve your tyres. Those guys are confident the Ford runners up in front of him will burn them up as this race goes on.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating contest. Who's got the right setup? Who's driving the cars well? Who's pushing hard enough? Big cheer from the crowd every time Seaton comes past in the lead here. Craig Lowndes in second, Marcus Ambrose in third. Murphy and Richards round out the top 5.
See them all searching for dirt on the inside to try and get the cars to hug to the apex. There's a Shell Helix replay of this situation with Ellery. One of the Valvoline cars involved.
Bargwanna, I think it is. Might be 35.
My X-ray vision's not that good today.
Yeah, I was going to say,
So lap 5 of 26.
There's Bargs because he's the one that's just come to the pit lane, I believe.
Pace of the race settling down. Fastest lap so far for Marcus Ambrose. That was on the previous lap. A 1:32.99 for the Pertec Ford driver. Bargwanna is into the pits after that collision. It looks like he's done
Tie rod on the right-hand side is bent.
I was going to say, it looks like he's damaged his steering as a result of that incident. Mike Hexel and the boys there feverishly working away trying to get him back into the battle. But Bargwanna has been the strongest performer of the two Valvoline Cummins cars throughout qualifying, but even still, those cars are not performing up anywhere like they were last year. Look at this, Mark Scaife now trying to fight his way back through the pack. He's still in 9th, behind John Bowe on the new Caterpillar Ford. Keep in mind that was the worst starting position for Mark Scaife in a championship round since Winton back in 1999. So this is a very strange reversal of form for Mark Scaife this weekend. 3 Fords punching their way down the straight. Let's have a look at the Shell Helix replay. Look at this with Bargwanna and Stephen Ellery.
So this is on the exit of turn 2. I see.
That was just Ellery. Didn't leave him any room at all, did he?
Gee, look at that. Well, they're big, tough old buses, these V8 supercars, but there's only so much they'll take. The streets of Adelaide prove that. And Bargwanna now will be bitterly disappointed.
That's very costly, and that'll put him to the rear of the grid or close to it for the second race today.
Why would you say Glenn is so good at looking after his tyres here?
Well, just looking at the championship points there, first of all, Barry with Bright leading with 703. He's back in the order still at the moment in 7th place. Lowndes still closing. Teammates Scaife second, Ingle, Johnson, Kelly, Richards. Basically, Glenn's always been a guy that's very meticulous about his car balance, and he's not a throttle slammer, he's not a throttle fanner, he's a very smooth guy on the throttle. He's a guy that hates oversteer, so I think on tracks like this, where you've got to keep the car very straight, Glenn's driving style is rewarded.
You get the impression with these cars, just sitting behind him bumper to bumper, that he may be holding them up a little bit. I get the impression Lowndes may be able to go a little bit quicker. Find a way past, but he's not going to take any risks by the look of it this early in the race.
Well, Barry alluded to that point earlier, Mark, that one of the difficulties on this track, because of the complexity of the corners, they're long and ongoing. It's actually quite difficult to stuff a car up the inside of another unless that other car happens to be very weak in one area, and that's what Lowndes will be analysing at the moment to see whether there's anywhere that he can exploit a gap.
Had a word to Craig Lowndes just prior to the commencement of this race. He says right now this car is running the best that it has been since they acquired it. They've been spending a lot of time, as Neil knows, doing some development on it, but right now Craig feels that it's the best that it has been. Very, very confident indeed.
And run down the inside into turn 2. Oh, and Bernard's out of the booties there at turn 1. I wouldn't want to be out there for too long. And was there a place change? No, Ambrose is still third. Last Saturday and last Thursday on board with Mark Scaife. Lowndes and Gibson Motorsport tested at Winton. Continued to learn more about the car, what it wants, what it dislikes, and whether there's anywhere that we could exploit some extra performance out of the car.
Keep it clean, Mike. Keep it clean.
Rob Starr, Mark Scaife's man on the headsets in the pits, just telling him to keep it calm. He's got a very wide Caterpillar Ford in front of him. It's been an uncharacteristically bad weekend so far for Holden Racing Team. That number 2 car, the brand new car being debuted by Jason Bright, was most uncooperative throughout practice and qualifying. They started to dial it in a little bit toward the end of the session yesterday. And Scaife, as a result of that uncharacteristic spin in the top 10 shootout, he found himself back in 10th.
We had to get our statistician Nigel Greenway to dig through the dusty records and find that the last time that Scapie was that far back was Winton 1999. So traditionally this bloke has been pretty good at getting himself up to the top of the field.
Still the quickest lap by Ambrose, 32.9.
Just goes to show when you get...
Another couple of laps will bring you in.
So he's got the word. They're going to bring him in pretty early in this window. Opens at lap 8, so it's open now.
The reason for that, if anybody feels that they're tripped and tangled in traffic, the minute the theoretical pit window actually opens, you bring your car in and in an effort to try and get the job done and get it back out with clean air. Well, we're going to take a break from this exciting first race at Eastern Creek with Glenn Seaton leading, Craig Lowndes 0.2 of a second behind from Ambrose, Murphy, Richards, Kelly, Bright and Bow.
Mark Scape and Russell Ingall round out the top 10 all the way down to Cameron McLean in 16th. Back with more from the Creek in just a moment.
8 laps completed, race 1 at Eastern Creek, round 3 of the championship, and there's a sensational battle at the top of the field with Seaton